What's up, everybody? Odell here with another episode of Full Circle. I didn't do it. I'm late. But it's episode 11, week 11. Whoa, like, I need my toes, people.
Right?
I need my toes. Didn't think we'd make it this far.
Episode XI.
Yes.
For all of our Roman listeners.
Ooh, yeah. So we do have some Roman listeners. They write us, unlike y'all, that when we don't. We might. We could.
It's true.
Who knows? Internet people. So, you know me. You love me. Odell Harmon Jr. at Odell Harmon Jr. on all your social medias. Like, share, subscribe to the show. FC Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're being a lot more active on those accounts, so please follow those and you'll learn some things about us that you might not know. And to my right, it is
Jared Fradette. You know, and I hope you like me at least. You can find me at Toon Velo. So, we have an exciting episode for you today, like we do every day. We'll be discussing what we want our quirk powers to be. We'll be discussing rumors of Google getting into the game world via Project Yeti. But first and foremost, we're going to start out talking about comics into new supermarkets and stores that you might not think that they would normally be in.
Yes, normally you find comic books at, let's just be honest, comic book stores.
Right.
Anywhere outside of there, at least in America, you really, to be an avid comic reader in today's, oversaturated internet and other online forums, you really just have to. Yeah, it's
go out and seek them.
Yeah, it's like playing in an arcade with video games. Like, why would I ever?
Arcades? What are those? Archaic, more like it. Oh! Yes. However, even though DC and I presume Marvel have online streaming services and ebook services, DC has now started a partnership with Walmart for a monthly 100-page Giants annual. Not annual, but monthly. And so it's 100 pages of old and new stories reprinted for $5. And so this is kind of exciting.
It's a steal, honestly.
Right?
It's at Walmart, so of course it is.
And probably a literal steal if it's at Walmart.
Yeah, that's. I'm glad you did that because that's where I was going with that.
Exactly. And so, as they just started July 1st, so now they're going, you can go find them. Hopefully find them. Because like all the other geek tchotchkes at Walmart, they're crammed by the cigarettes and playing cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards. And where is that? By the cashier somewhere? I don't know.
I've always had that problem. I exclusively went to Walmart to find some Pokemon cards because this was after the Pokemon craze. Mm-hmm. And I gave up and was thirsty and went to go buy a drink. And I was like, oh, they're right here. But like you said, they were exclusively by where they sold the cigarettes. Not like at every aisle they had the stations.
Naturally. Exactly where all young children go in Walmart to the cigarette aisle.
Of course.
Ooh.
Marketing.
Yeah. They can't sell candy cigarettes anymore. They make you look at the real things.
But yeah, and as great as this is for the comic book world, one, it becomes extremely more accessible. Mm-hmm. $5 for old stories combined with the new stories, 100 pages. I don't know if you ever read a comic book, but that's pretty lengthy.
Right? I mean, I think normally the monthly ones that they come out with, back when I was actively buying comic books, are maybe 15 pages, 20 if we include advertisements and the cover. Yeah. You just get like a snippet of a storyline. Like, oh no, Hal Jordan's falling into a pit of acid, and he manages to escape. To turn around to see Sinestro. Turn you next week.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
So obviously they're doing this to hopefully revitalize the comic book industry, which, despite the movies, has been on...
Despite the Marvel movies.
Oh, correction. Despite the Marvel movies, the comic book industry, the print industry, has been on the decline for some years now.
Well, I mean, this falls right in line with the dying newspaper industry, magazine industry. Print is effectively dead.
Yeah, and I mean, all the important ones, and I use that term loosely because they're all important to somebody.
Right.
Have cartoon shows and etc. Which I'm not a fan of the newer cartoon shows because they're riding the Marvel movie hype. So they're just a cartoon version of the movie versions. And it just I feel like it just further moves away from the actual
storyline, the plot.
Source material.
Like, where does Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. begin? It just kind of amalgamates into this weird mesh.
Pretty much.
I will say, though, it is exciting we've seen between Marvel and DC a sort of revitalization of more amalgam adventures between them. So sort of cheeky in one of the recent Captain Marvel comics, as they go through all the alternate timelines via the Reality Stone. You see Captain Marvel across multiple realities, and you see distinctly Shazam, DC's Captain Marvel, in like not his whole frame, but the boots and the lasso and the cape, which are undeniably.
Wait, he has a lasso?
It's not so much. Actually, it's not a lasso. It's like these weird tassel things that come from the hip.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But also in another reality jumping via the dog with the tuning fork. I forget its name.
Dog with the tuning fork. Dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either way, he's from Marvel. As they are also jumping realities, we come across someone in blue pants and red boots, and someone in red boots with a lasso. Clearly, Superman and Wonder Woman going, "I think you've come to the wrong place, friend." So, surprisingly, I think growing up, we were in this void where DC and Marvel do not interact at all. But now, and that was for corporate reasons, but before then and now, we're starting to see more of this playful banter between them. So, that's sort of exciting for comic books. But back to the story at hand. Minus that rant.
No, I was inquisitively looking and
you were
listening.
Enthralled. You were interested.
I was
That's
engaged.
Great. You should be interested in comics. But also, coming to a place not expected is GameStop.
Yes, you heard that right. GameStop is going to sell comics because, believe it or not, the video game giant isn't as big as they thought they were because they're losing a lot of business.
Which is funny because who knew that selling you a game for $80 and buying it back for 80 cents was a bad business model.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've all seen the memes where, a guy goes in with like a stack of games that probably came out a month ago and GameStop's like, I'll give you $8.50 for them.
I was looking into their failing business, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I could buy this. So taking in all their national chains, all their locations, and the current profits they have, I estimate I could buy GameStop for about $2.50. But lots of Jared credit.
Oh, of course. Mm-hmm. $2.50 doesn't give you a crap ton of store credit that you can only use on used games. Yeah. Because how dare you want a new game?
Oh, no. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Here's a true story. In college, my friend, I stayed in a co-ed dorm, so my immediate guy neighbor, because we had a girl in between us, his name was John, and he bought Fable, wherever the current Fable was at the time. I don't know if it was Fable 3 or like...
Probably Fable 3.
Yeah, or what? It was a Fable game. So he literally bought it the week it came out.
Mm-hmm.
He played it. He powered through it, and like, true, I'm a college kid. I have free time. I ain't got no worries. Fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Powered through it in about, I'll say, within a month.
Mm-hmm.
So from release date to I'm gonna go return this at GameStop and try to get something else was a month and a half tops. They only offered him cash value. The trade-in value was something stupid like $25, which it's
for GameStop. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's $25 out of a $60 game. That's almost 50%. But keep in mind, this game's only a month old.
Yeah.
So factoring that in.
No, it's like buying a car. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it loses half its value.
Fair enough. So trade-in value, but the cash value they were willing to give him, I'm rounding up, was $5.
That's ridiculous.
And he did it, and we always made fun of him. And one of our friends said,
"Sell it to someone else on the street for like $30."
We were like, you could have sold that for $20 to anyone, cash value easily.
I would have bought it for $40. I'm assuming he bought it for like $50.
He bought it for $60, $59.99.
Right. $40, because that's easily two adult bills, two 20s.
And so here's the kicker. He traded the game for almost a sandwich. That's what my friend made him realize. You go get a combo meal at McDonald's, that's like $5 and some change.
Rent it to your friend for the weekend for $5. Like,
so GameStop's model is you can trade us a game for almost a sandwich. Do you think about that?
That's just so sad. I think I could trade it to Subway, and they would give me a higher valued sandwich for that.
Exactly, a $5 footlong. And this was in, 2009, 2010 maybe, circa that era?
Uh-huh.
So, of course, they're going out of business. Because recently, I bought games at GameStop because I have the Power Rewards card, and after so many points, I get like reasonable perks. But I'm already planning on buying these games anyway. But they recently got me in this loop of my card is always about to cancel because I have to renew it, and I can pay to renew it, or I can use my points. And I promise you, every time I use my points, I'm almost back down to 0.
Yeah.
And someone recently told me about the Best Buy Rewards program, sponsored by Best Buy, episode 11. The Best Buy Rewards program, and I've started doing that and buying my games there. And it's like, I've bought 3 games, and I've already earned $30 in rewards points from Best Buy.
I mean, heck.
I don't have to buy a game. I can buy something else.
Right.
A movie, which I did.
I mean, if nothing else, you could even just do like, what we in the Master Race do. Just, buy the Steam sales. Steam summer sales are going on right now. It's like, hey, do you want the entire Half-Life series, like Game of the Year content plus DLC? That's going to cost you a whopping $15. It's like, okay, heck, even if I hate the game, it's just so cheap. Why not?
Yeah. So what we've been trying to say before we went on this GameStop rant is they're selling comics now to make up for sales, which...
I remember this worked out really great for Hastings and FYE. Who are they? I don't remember.
You know what? Just to go full circle with this. Just bring back EB Games. I promise. Before you brought them out, I always enjoyed my experience at EB Games. The people knew what they were talking about. No offense to any GameStop associate, but EB Games associates knew what they were talking about. They had kiosks where I could play. Nice strategy guides. I just have great memories of EB Games. GameStop selling comics.
It's not gonna go well.
So...
It's not gonna save you.
So anyone with some GameStop stock? Shop? Stock.
In market stock?
There we go, yeah, stock.
Okay.
You might want to, pro tip.
Get out.
Get rid of them shares.
Yep. Stick to games. Speaking of games, though, Google is now trying to enter the gaming field.
Ooh.
I know. So, will they be able to compete with this? I mean, 2 is company, 3 is a crowd, 4 on the sidewalk, it's not allowed.
That was hilarious.
Thank you.
But yes, and I was thinking about this. I remember when, a little old company about Microsoft wanted to get into the gaming field. I scoffed and laughed at the Xbox. And to be quite frankly, I still do, because guess who has one exclusive coming out between now and the rest of the year? Xbox. And guess what the exclusive is? Forza.
What is that game?
Forza Motorsports with the cars, and it's realistic and
Mario Kart?
Dynamic drive. Yes, Mario Kart.
Sweet, I love Mario Kart.
It's like Mario Kart, but with 90% of the fun sucked out, 80% of the creative tracks replaced with realistic tracks, and things like dynamic weather.
Can I hit people with so I can hit people with lightning bolts?
No. You can hit people with your car and then crash and then spin out and automatically lose the race.
That's disappointing. Does a Koopa pick me up?
No, it doesn't pick you up.
I don't understand.
You have to pay your currency to fix your car.
I don't understand. Really? Is that really a thing?
Yeah, you damaged your car.
Wow, that is incredibly bad. No, okay.
But can you drive a Mercedes-Benz in Mario Kart?
I can drive the Mercedes-Benz of Mario Karts.
Wait, you can't.
It's the cycle.
No.
I'm saying it's whatever you want it to be.
No, they're literally like the Mercedes-Benz DLC in Mario Kart.
Yes,
you can. That was the joke here. You can't.
Right over my head. Missed the point. Yeah, so... Wow, egg on my face. So I'll just skip ahead to my point. My next point being, I just don't understand how Microsoft plans to win anything without first-party content. Because, name anybody on the street. Just pick anybody at random, ask politely, don't literally throw a dart at them, and ask them, name a video game character. And they'll be like, yeah, Mario, Donkey Kong, Zelda. And you go, close enough.
We just accidentally spoiled Nintendo's next exclusive Mario Kong. We're sorry, Nintendo. Please don't sue us.
But yeah, so it's like, Microsoft has no original content. Sony is, trying to keep everything to itself. No, we won't share Fortnite. We'll lose profits. But it's a free game. We'll lose profits. So, what's Google going to offer us?
Well, interesting fact, we all know this. Halo saved the Xbox ass. And the Xbox was going to tank, and then Halo came out, and, it pretty much revolutionized the online multiplayer shooter experience, and that's kind of kept it going for a while. And Google's going to get into this, and I don't see Google having a Halo. But like you said from my research, we don't know if it's going to be a gaming streaming service, a actual console,
some hybrid in between.
For those who remember the Ouya.
I don't.
Well, yeah, it failed horribly. Or like when Steam did its Steam controller kind of console thingy.
I mean, it's kind of nice if you want to sit on your couch with your HD TV. But for that matter, I just sit at my desktop and I have the same experience.
Yeah, so to be fair, we don't know if Google's making a traditional console or some type of... Who knows? They do have the money. They do have the resources. But ultimately, I think, depending on what it is... Oh, I know you got something to say.
Yeah.
But depending on what it is, maybe a little too late to get in the game. Well, if they're going full console, or if they are truly trying to compete with PlayStation and Microsoft, Xbox. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they don't include Nintendo in this, but that's who they think their competitors are.
Nintendo is unreachable at this point. Everybody has a Switch. It's a console in every hand.
Yes.
They own 95% of first-party content. Excuse me. I don't know. You can't reach Nintendo. No matter how much the haters say that Nintendo.
That is true. They will forever be in their own lane.
Yeah.
But so if they truly want to compete with them, I don't know what that would be if it's not a console.
I'll say, but also they probably directly aren't interested in competing with Nintendo because if you recall, they are working with Niantic in Pokemon Go, which is partnered, of course, with Nintendo. Right? We already kind of have that going. I think it has to be some sort of console because to be a streaming service alone, while it has its appeal, right? Because not everybody can afford the expensive gaming rig, especially after the Bitcoin, expansion and then all PC things going up. Like, the internet across our city is not consistent. If I pull up our server right now to watch movies on my family's home server, it'll be like, ooh, sorry, their Comcast is out. I'm like, but I have service. It's like, so... I don't know, across the nation, trying to pool.
I was reading an interesting article about this, and I don't know how true this might be, but they were speculating something like, in Google Chrome, I open a browser and I play Skyrim. And I'm like, does that sound appealing?
Well, again, it's appealing for those people who can't afford their own, PC streaming. PC processing.
Because then I'm just like, at that point, aren't you just still playing... Well, I mean, you're right. I don't have to buy my own gaming rig.
It takes the burden off of, when I would normally, start Skyrim and it would glitch out and have 1,000 errors and just fry my computer instantly. Well, now that's happened to some server off somewhere in, Silicon Valley, and I laugh maniacally as Skyrim melts their PC.
Yeah, well, let's pretend, they do go with that. It's just like a browser extension, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
And you buy a game. Yeah. And you play it. How well would that honestly work? I assume maybe you could buy a Google controller or whatever they call it, the G-pad.
Which might be part of the hybrid technology that people are rumoring. That might be what the Yeti is in this circumstance.
I want the G-pad now.
The G-pad.
The G-pad. That's what we're going to call the studio now. It's the G-pad.
The G-pad.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a little sign for the door. It'll be perfect. No, we can't do that. That'd be weird.
Ooh, that's copyright G-pad. So when Google tries to do it, we make money.
Yes. Be like, that person that saw the foresight of technology and booked Coca-Cola so that they had to buy the domain name from them.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
I mean, if they don't name it the G-pad, they're gonna name it the Googleplex.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I have the Pixel, and I wouldn't get.
What would you call the console the Googleplex?
Plex is actually the streaming service I have. So they can't call it a Plex. Google Live. I mean, Google Play. Google Games is an app.
I don't know.
Google Game Plus.
Well, I feel would they incorporate Google into the name of the console?
Maybe not. They might want it to appear as something different.
Because Microsoft called theirs the Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Well, in case it just failed, it'd be just X that out.
Yeah.
Or was it just the Windows logo turned sideways? So what's a G turned sideways? Mazda?
I don't know. Well, because PlayStation doesn't name convention wise doesn't appear to connect to Sony. It's just, at this point,
it's just a thing that is what it is.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, comment below what you think Google's new console will be.
Yeah, because honestly, I'm just trying to make puns of Google and like Googleplex, Googlebox, the Goog.
The Goog. Right? Well, whatever name.
I don't know why. Like, can you imagine it? Like, oh man, I got the Goog.
That's a terrible name.
It is.
That's a terrible name.
But is it so terrible it's good?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure whatever name they come up with, it's going to be something quirky. Speaking of quirks.
Oh!
Yeah, nice.
Oh!
So, one of the many nerdy topics that we talk about all the time are, what powers we'd have in what fantasy world. So, we're talking now about what our quirks would be from My Hero Academia.
And if you don't know what My Hero Academia is, you are clearly sleeping under a rock because it is it's the current IT anime.
It is.
And rightfully so. Unlike other IT animes, it's not stupid like Fairy Tail. I was trying not to
put it nicely. No, just a call out to Fairy Tail.
Yeah, I will always take time out of my day to bash Fairy Tail. And for anyone says anything, I've read every single chapter of that manga, so I will bash until the day I die.
He did. He was like, "Oh man, you won't believe what happened to this chapter." It's like, dude, just let it go. He's like, "No."
I invested too much time. I had to finish it. Like
he did. Yeah, I heard every gruesome, grueling step of the way there.
But I'm over it. This is about My Hero Academia,
right? And what quirks are. So the anime revolves around a society where basically everybody has superpowers, and these superpowers are called quirks.
And unlike other shows and other things where you do this, you're probably like, oh, well, with Marvel and the MCU and the horrible DCU and the horrible shows that come on the CW, even though everyone loves the Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Sure.
This world is very realistic in the sense that the powers have real drawbacks. Like, it's just a physical extension. So let's say you're strong, you're not indefinitely strong. Let's say you have fire or ice powers, doesn't mean you're immune to fire and ice. Like,
you will burn and freeze, respectively, given enough time or usage.
Yeah, and more or less, everyone is still basically human in the sense that you can shoot pretty much anyone and they will probably die.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, you have people with powers that can help them, like maybe they're fast, so they can dodge it, or maybe they can harden themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But even the characters that can harden themselves can't get shot indefinitely because hardening is like, another physical ability. So they can't indefinitely remain hard. And the more damage they take in that state, the less
stamina.
The less formidable they become. Like the guy who can turn into steel. If you keep whacking him with a hammer,
he literally gets fatal fatigue.
Yeah.
He has to drop it and start again.
Yeah, so these powers are like very ingrown in reflexes, which makes them interesting. And they're more developed characters because they just can't be like, power on, this is my power, I do this, and there's no physical or worldly repercussions for them. It's like, no matter what your power is, it's a constant muscle reflex thing yourself. So like the fire guy can't just forever shoot flames until the sun goes out.
Right.
And if he does continue to shoot flames, he will lose his resistance to those flames. His body will overexert, and he himself will be susceptible to burning.
Yep. So with that being said, let's get into what we want our quirks to be.
Yes.
So preamble preface to this, I'm furious. I had a great power. I was like, this is great. The drawback is perfect. It's a power I've always wanted to do. I tell it to Odell. I'm like, this is great. It's duplication. I go into it, and he tells me
it already exists because I read the manga, and the guy's name is Twice. That's what it was.
Twice, yes.
His name is Twice, and not only does he have the power of duplication, he more or less had all the drawbacks and consequences that Jared outlined, so it was...
And I'm not so much furious that someone else had this power, but rather, I didn't realize that this, it was so perfect. I'm like, was I incepted? Was I susceptible at some point to marketing? And this just, got put in me at some point? Anywho, that creepiness aside, my new quirk is spatial folding. So there's already one of the main characters in the show. She's able to control gravity, and other examples of people who can control portals. So I feel this is a fairly balanced power. The drawback, of course, being the more I fold things and change my perspective...
Nice demonstration.
Thank you. I'm going to start suffering from being dizziness and having vertigo. And so, which I think makes perfect sense. So after an extended bout of warping space, someone just tells you to walk down the hall, and I'm just like stumbling and bashing into things, going, "Wait, stop that!"
All right. So for clarification, so let's just say something is a mile down the street, but you can physically see it.
Right.
You can fold the space in between it to simply, essentially, visually walk across the street and be there, and then space would unfold back to normal.
Exactly. So, actually, let me step back a little bit. I wanted this power to have a motif of tooniness to it. So I was like, what could I do that would make me look like a cartoon, where I could kind of squash and squish? And I obviously can't steal Luffy's power because he's too prominently known. So, if I'm stretching instead, so it's kind of like hyperspace, right? A hyperspace window, where hyperspace bubble, where I'm pulling space to me and extending it behind me. And so, from the normal perspective, when it looks like I'm reaching or stepping through, it looks like I'm stretching to the other side of this great mile-long gap. But to me, I'm just stepping through this folded space. So yes, to answer your question, yes.
All right. Well, that's cool. Well, what I want my power to be,
Uh-huh.
actually, to be fair, I didn't know what I want my power to be. Jared gave me this power, but I'm rolling with it.
Right?
Is I want to be made of light.
Okay.
Or to be more accurate, be able to turn it into a being of light.
Okay.
Or just pure light.
Mm-hmm.
So how this works, viewers, is if you watched One Piece, it's kind of like one of the admirals. I forget his name, but the guy that can turn into light. Yeah, like that. But how mine would work is, so I can walk around solid, regular me, but I can then thus turn into a light, travel at the speed of light, but the caveat is, I can only travel in straight directions. When I'm a form of light, I can only go in a straight line. And the second I hit any type of barrier, wall, anything that would obstruct my path, I would stop, reform, and then thus have to, so let's say I'm in an extremely long hallway. Mm-hmm. I can, turn to light and, to the other side in the blink of an eye.
Gotcha.
But, I couldn't go down the hallway, make a left, and keep going until I got where I needed to go. I would have to blink, stop, blink again. So, yes, I can theoretically get anywhere, at the speed of light, which is what, 3.8
meters. 3.8 times 10 to the 6th? 10 to the 8th.
10 to the 8th.
It's C?
Yes.
He can travel at sea?
I can travel at sea. So, as long as I have a clear path, I can travel anywhere, but also, being part of light, I can reflect and bounce off of mirrored surfaces. But again, I can't control my trajectory, so it would just be I would bounce and then go in that new direction until infinity. So one of the other defensive capabilities, so if you try to shoot me, I can just, turn. I can either just A, dodge it because I can move that fast, or B, just kind of just turn to light and it would just pass through me because I'm light. One of the downsides is because I'm still human. Prolonged moving at the speed of light will give me an intense headache and kind of disassociate me with my current state of being. So it'll be like I kind of taking in things way too much moving at that speed. So I would have to wear shades because my eyes do that crazy thing where they're zzz. And so intense migraines. And also, even if I just stay as light too long, I eventually get tired and have to be solid and remain solid for some minor time, and I will have that weird phasing thing where I will be solid but constantly phasing between solid and light just because I'll be stuck in some in between state.
Right, as you're exceeding energy, you're transcending your energy level, you're breaking up, molecularly breaking apart.
Yes, so yeah, I'll be a light guy. So that'd be cool.
Right.
I'm not sure if I can shoot beams of light as a laser, but sure, why not? Maybe with enough practice I can.
Do you want a naval laser?
Hell no.
The sometimes French hero?
Yeah, oh no, he's just so creepy.
He's so useless is more than anything.
I think he's more creepy than the obvious perv of the group. Which is saying a lot.
That is saying quite a bit here. Yeah. Ooh.
So we talked about this. A fun combo we can do for our power is, let's just say there was a villain about to kill someone, detonate a bomb, do villainy things, and
right.
He's about to do what he was gonna do.
like downtown, below ground, in this complex that's hard to get to, and people are like, Odell, why don't you just there?
It's like, well, one, it's not a straight path. Two, he's like in a building behind layers of things. So even if I wanted to, if I just stopped and zipped to the best of my ability, it might take even more time actually at the amount of rate I would have to, because like I said, I can't stop on a dime. I have to stop, reform, and go. So yeah, like it would still be quickish, but nowhere near quick enough.
However, let me just try and fold this open for you. Layer, until eventually we get an opening. I don't know if we can hold it open longer. Did you make it?
No, I'm sorry. I was just really enjoying your level of commitment to that demonstration.
Thank you. And scene.
So yes, as Jared was folding, what I would do, that split second that the opening appeared of the path, I would zip there, and stylistically it would look. He would be like, did he make it? And to the naked eye, I would still be there, and I will be saying the words as I slowly, fade away to. Don't worry, I'm already there. And then stylistically, as the sentence finished, I'm there stopping whatever the hell needed to be stopped, and I get the girl. I saved the day.
It's a great combo.
But we're progressive here, so maybe I don't get the girl. Maybe the girl got me.
I was gonna say maybe you reunite the girl with her girlfriend. Get more.
Oh man, we're really
or her non-binary partner. We can keep going. Anywho, the point being here, it's a great combo. Odell's quirk of light and my quirk of spatial bending. Rolling back up this whole episode here, we are interested to see if Google is going to be as impressive as our quirks. Maybe. Probably not. And probably coming in dead last here of this episode is GameStop. Who just took a right beating from us.
So what we really want to do is, what we really want to promote here is community involvement. So please, thank you for sharing, subscribing, but comment. You can reach us on Instagram and Twitter as well, and let us know what your quirks would be, or if you thought our quirks were stupid. Which if you think anything is stupid on the show, you always got to come back with something better, people. Like, I will take your criticisms, but you better believe you have something good in your pocket. So let us know what your quirks would be. Let us know if you actually support GameStop, and if we were too mean, we might have been. And give me your best Google console name, because I'm going with the Goog. Can't no one tell me nothing. It is great. So please do that in the comments or on Twitter at FC Podcast. Or reach out to me personally at Odell Harmon Jr. on my social media.
Or my social media at ToonVelo.
Thank you for another week of joining us. We're episode 11, so we're pretty much committed to this now. So I think, like our last episode, we did a special episode. So maybe every 10th episode, we'll start doing something special. Maybe episode 20, we'll have our first legit giveaway.
Ooh.
Because I think by that time, I might have some foreign goodies to give out. So
that's right.
That'll be good. But as always, thank you for joining. Like, share, subscribe, and I don't know, share. Oh wait, I said
subscribe.
Share. And subscribe. Okay.
And share and subscribe.
And share and subscribe.
Tune in next week. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, everybody.